The Guardians of the Galaxy are back! Volume 2! Woo! I've been waiting... Hoo-hoo-hoo! What, I can't reuse my footage? What's up, guys and gals? Jared here with another holiday-themed movie review. So I went out to the theater and saw a movie that I've actually already seen before, Deadpool 2, or rather, Once Upon a Deadpool. Deadpool 2 actually came out 6 months ago. I'm not going to review it here. If you want to see my actual review of it, click up there or watch this quick video. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, what the heck is Once Upon a Deadpool? So Once Upon a Deadpool is actually Deadpool 2, but then they kind of put a lens or this gloss over it to make it PG-13, more appropriate for a bigger crowd. And that's kind of what they did. They kind of censored Deadpool, made it, more family-friendly for a bigger audience. There's a lot of reasons behind that. I'll get into that later, but let's jump into what they kind of changed in this movie. The whole framing device of this movie is that it's set or it really follows the same storyline or whatever of Princess Bride, where Fred Savage, Deadpool captures him, puts him in this bed, he reads him a bedtime story, but obviously it's PG-13. And that's really what the main part of what they added in this movie. Overall, they maybe added 10-15 minutes of Fred Savage, 1 or 2 extra scenes that were in there that were kind of funny. But yeah, mainly most of the stuff that was added into this movie was Fred Savage in the bedroom with Deadpool having the story read to him. And it was like these I wouldn't say weird cutaways, but these cutaways when there was maybe violence or inappropriate stuff, or kind of just a break in the story to kind of take out parts of the actual Deadpool 2 movie and make it more cohesive with this PG-13 rating. And like I said, that they added maybe 10-15 minutes into this movie, it probably only took them like a day or two to actually film this stuff, because there's no CGI, there's nothing that's really a big set piece that they really added in. So filming probably didn't take that much, and to edit all of this together, to take out some of the old stuff, add in this new stuff, that couldn't have taken more than a few weeks, maybe a couple months. And now you're probably wondering what they added, what did they take out, how did they make Deadpool PG-13? Well, the stuff that they added in was obviously Fred Savage and Deadpool kind of talking, making it kind of cute, funny, whatever. But what they took out of the movie, Deadpool 2 is really, it's a hard R movie. There's a lot of violence, there's nudity, there's a lot of curse words, inappropriate stuff, like, people, Deadpool breaking his back or getting torn in half. A lot of that stuff is not PG-13 appropriate. So what they did in this movie is they kind of cut scenes really quick, or cut away back to Deadpool and Fred Savage when there was things that were like, too bloody, too inappropriate, too violent. That was a lot of the stuff that they did right there. They just kind of had cutaways, cut things out, whatever like that. Now, to deal with the swearing, they kind of made it funny at the beginning. They did bleeps, obviously, so every time someone was saying f*** or shit or whatever like that, they just kind of bleeped it out, and Deadpool was doing that too. So that was really funny at the beginning. It did get a little bit old, and it was only, like I said, it was only like 5 minutes of that. But throughout the rest of the movie, you don't see Deadpool's mouth move, so they could have just added in any lines for that character, and that's kind of what they did. I will say that there was one moment in the film where it's Fred Savage and Deadpool, and they're going back, and Fred Savage is getting all of his F words bleeped out. That was actually really funny. That was probably the highlight of the movie of stuff that they added in. Other than that, not much else. And obviously there were scenes where, there was maybe nudity or Deadpool with the baby legs or whatever. So they kind of just blurred it out. They kind of did stuff like this. Yeah, they kind of just blurred it out. Alright, sorry about that. So yeah, overall, they just kind of, made this more family-friendly, more, catering to the PG audience. Or PG-13 audience, rather. Now you're probably wondering, why did they do this? Why did they make Deadpool, Once Upon a Deadpool, into a thing? Well, there's a lot of different reasons. Well, let's start with the money. So it's obviously, they want to cater this movie or market it in China, I believe it is. So they had to meet certain standards. There's a big audience over there, so hopefully they're trying to cash in. It probably didn't cost that much to re-edit this movie, so they're hoping that the benefit outweighs the cost in this situation. And another thing, I know that a lot of people may not think this, but honestly, since Fox is now owned by Disney, I do think that this was actually a tryout, a Deadpool tryout for the MCU. They were seeing if they could make this character as entertaining as he was in his actual movies, but make him PG-13, censor him, bleeps, blurring stuff out, to see if that would work with the audience, if there's good reception around it. And I honestly think in phase 4, maybe down the line, just a small kind of connections, I think that Deadpool will in fact be in the MCU. And the one good thing about this film is that they're donating, I think, $1 of each ticket to the cancer campaign, or rather fudge cancer. So that is, at least they're not 100% going for this cash grab. They're at least giving some money back. It would have been nice that if they would have maybe given $2, 25%, 50%, a little bit more, but giving anything to a good cause like that is really great. Another thing that they added into the very end of this movie, obviously there was a few kind of fun post-credit scenes, but they did have a Stan Lee tribute at the very end of the movie, and that was really heartwarming. It was very emotional. I'm glad that I stayed till the very end. So if you are going to go see this movie, stay till the very end and see kind of, some of the last footage that they had of Stan Lee. Now, in closing, you're probably wondering, Jared, I've already seen Deadpool 2. I own Deadpool 2. Is it worth my time? Is it worth my money to go out and see Once Upon a Deadpool? Now, that is totally up to you. Honestly, they maybe added 10-15 minutes in this movie. They obviously cut stuff out. They added new stuff in. If you're not a fan, or if you're not really up to date on Princess Bride, Fred Savage, any nostalgia around that, you're going to be really confused, because you're not going to have a damn clue what any of this means. But if you are into that, if you do appreciate this character, if you're really curious, kind of just want to, go out, have a good time, pay $5 on cheap night, get some popcorn with some friends, have a good laugh, go for it. Otherwise, there's other movies that did this better. I know that I went and saw Anchorman 2. They recut that, and that movie was actually a completely different movie, because every line, almost every joke was brand new. This one, everything is pretty much the same. You got a different opening. You have some intercuts between Deadpool and Fred Savage again, and overall, it's basically the same movie. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. As always, follow all of my social media stuff down there. There's more videos over there. Subscribe down in the corner if you haven't. And until next time, I'll see you later. Fred Savage is taped to the Fred Savage and Deadpool are so it's Deadpool and Fred Savage.